I want to just note, for example, when I say all our modern nations are recorded with agencies worse than criminally incompetent, it is simultaneously in position to the people of England and here that and how they simultaneously, when I say there was an organized crime, breaching method. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police form, if there's an organized breaching method against our founders, fact, treatment, nature, forcing them to other, per method, per internation, forced crazy relationships. Also, forced crazy relationship extortion of all points of fact, treatment, nature, areas, and states, opinion natures, forced extortion method to all leaders, even kings and queens, even chiefs. Now, so it's simultaneously in position that that England's nations, all these nations it can't explain the offensive where it was coming from, because they can't simultaneously couldn't explain their own, because it came through the campus martias that came from semi-ancient time. This just reminds before modern nations. So everyone was playing out a pseudo sophistication can measure us only being played though. You know, we needed sequence shift styles, live percussion, cover up nature's needs. Not by accident. Everyone, even kings miss this. Even chiefs. Even queens. One way redeems. Allah. Radical correlation. Jesus Christ about radical correlation, about positive relationship to itself. Simultaneously, inherently, actively, and progressively. Also as value as a progression. Not only though the Trinity's relationship to itself, the cell body, the cell nucleus, the cell wall, but also that identity the cell wall share. This is a body of value progression, identity of value, discernment system. Spaces identity onto itself. And our agencies have failed. So the predicate of value is always positive relationship to itself. So see how predicate act is always positive as identity as positive. Always simultaneously inherent, active, and progressive relationship to itself. Predicate acts. Discerns a relationship to sanctions, types things. I'm not a lawyer, not police form. But every science, every modern nation feels this. What really potential is right there, clear, but everyone can't realize it. With the Olympics, with the impositions upon every modern nation from tactically denatured relationships to nature that they knew would cause negative value nature progressions. See suit and tie? See, the counter of it does not understand. Why? Because the campus broke. Fact treatments fail. Do not disbelieve. See, yin and yang pay 3 values as nature. Simultaneously pay 5 values as nature. See the 5 pillars of Islam. Emotion, stability, identity, difference, being. See that 5th pillar is about faith, about charity. It's because we're in a negative value nature progression. Is one reason. Do not disbelieve. The religions are about the same exact thing. The criminal re-engineered, forced, ulterior, fact treatment nature, defenses of themselves, evidence perception bodies, forced to divided experts. Whereas knowledge was this being used against correlation nature. Per and as how facilitated as a space nature. English was revealed to teach about space nature. It's no joke. Little rap guy. He already pulled Excalibur. I think Excalibur was a book. It's ancient. They steal we became before modern religions. They already had the Campus Marcia scribbly re-engineered. English, tied, has a value with its nature on both sides of it. Still has its identity. Like planet Earth in two sides. The polarity nature and the body of value it is. Positive progression here or as negative value progression. Only allowed. Force from here. Only neutral to this. One system perfect only here exists. But each modern nation is an ulterior fact value nature system position. In fact, cheap nature justifications of that. Value nature system meaning markets positions. Forced. Entertained. Incapable of defending that in ourselves. At the same time, forced share policing it. With and as nature's in relationship to justice tied to that. As a rule, incapable of defending its fact-cheating nature itself from the discernment capable of correlation nature alone. It's the tree of life. So, the beginning of the Old Testament, so I have to understand this here. People of the science have to come together. So the predicate act is always positive with English, always positive is always, predicate is always positive. Positive unto itself, inherently, actively, progressively, simultaneously, as it is with the nature of a verb standing alone, as they say. In other words, run is a verb, one word sentence, fine. Main verb. Now, if I said I am becomes the main verb, and I said running. Now running is inflected, becomes a so anything not used a main verb not used as a main verb, it becomes a participle nature or an infinitive nature. This is Trinity nature cause, relationship to itself, the cause of the difference between main verb, participle nature, and infinitive nature. They are one nature, but in its relationship to itself. Just like our physical body is one nature. The nature and diffusion, our identity and diffusion through us is one nature. And the identity has in relationship to the rest of space's identity in relationship to itself is one nature. Which is our positive or negative relationship to all other progression natures, all other identity of value. But that was his simultaneously now progressively ulterior. These are tactically ulterior from space's actual value nature system, from space's actual value of progression, but value by our ability to choice, the ability to control the range of positive within our control. Where and how? Physically. The range of positive is beyond the nature and identity is beyond our control. But to an extent. Simultaneously with that true onto the system has the nature of our nature, our consciousness. As the phenomena of the complete identity of space coming through, as that relationship to it, and as that connection. Third, I tell a lie. So, what is on both sides of the Earth as the magnetic field is more probably the same exact value. Not to and we'll examine. We'll come back to this. Thank you.